The energy that is created is lost. This is from Albert also.
We understand.
During sexual activity, the fertility is lost. If a person saves that vital force to bring it to higher chakras, does that help raise consciousness?
This is a belief that many priests have, many monks, many people who have the belief that this is an energy that they should keep within themselves. That sharing or experiencing sexual activity is going to deplete them somehow because they see it as something leaving the body. They feel like the physical action makes them tired afterward. This is many men who believe this because it has caused a physical reaction, a weakness, a tiredness after the activity. This is just normal physical activity. If you ran a marathon, you would be tired after. If you lifted weights, you would be tired after. This is physical activity making them tired, not spiritual leaving of energy. When someone does, as we are using lifting weights as an example, or running, when someone runs, they are expending energy. But they are gaining energy. They are building muscles. They are enjoying the scenery as they run. They are having a connectedness with those who run with them. They are enjoying the conversation as they run with others, or they are enjoying the quiet as they are there with their own thoughts. They are exploring their own beliefs, their own emotions, their own feelings, if they are running all by themselves. And yet, when they are finished running, they have not lost any energy. And no energy can be lost. We know this. Everyone knows this. Energy never disappears. But we believe what he is saying is there is a belief that it somehow leaves the body and is given to another person possibly, or is given to the universe and will diminish the spiritual ability of this person. And we think this is one of the most ridiculous things we've ever heard. This is quite the opposite. When two people make a connection on a physical level, truly make a connection on an emotional, physical, and spiritual level, of course, there is nothing but expansion. There's nothing but a growing of energy, increasing of energy. Now, we want to make sure we answer his question the way he will understand it. Gail or Debbie, do you have any other follow-up questions that we can help us pinpoint what you think he wants to know?
I believe he thinks it is affecting his ultimate
spirituality,
nirvana, achievement.
Okay. All right. We shall say, we will be explicit now since he has asked some explicit question. if someone is participating in private behavior, it still can be beneficial to them. But if it is an excessive amount, it can be a problem. And this is not necessarily on a physical, spiritual level. It is more on an emotional level. It is more on a interactive level with other people. So that is one thing we will say. But when you are having an activity with another person, if it is someone that you are in love with, someone that you feel a deep connection with, there can be no loss of emotional or spiritual advancement. Quite the opposite. You can have a great spiritual experience with someone, and this can bring you to a higher level of spirituality and connectedness with everything, with all. But if you have never felt this, then you do not understand what we speak of. If you are only having these experiences with people that you do not love, then it still will not diminish your spiritual ability unless you are doing it in some strange way that disturbs you physically. If you are engaged in something that disturbs you on a mental and physical level, something you do not want to be doing, then of course that can affect your spirituality. There are women, and we will say this, there are women who have had problems where they have been raped. Some even by their husbands. And this, in the case of the woman and in the case of the man, is not going to advance them in a spiritual way. And in the man's case, this could actually be hurting him on a spiritual level. But in the case of the woman, it's probably hurting her on an emotional and physical level more than anything. But the universe, God, the Creator, the oneness that is everything, would never think to take any harm or any spiritual growth away from anyone by participating in sexual activity. Because just like a plant has pollen on it, and you do not get fruit unless you have pollination from one plant to another. You do not have vegetables. There is pollination that occurs. This is the reproductive process of plants. And the result is the food that we eat, which gives us energy. So,
in a way, don't you feel that intercourse between two people is not only reproductive, but a form of relaxing the body and the mind and the spirit?
Right. It is, because most people do not do it for reproduction very much anymore. But it is for pleasure. It is for enjoyment of the spirit, which can do nothing but bring joy, which is where enlightenment is reached, in those moments of joy. If you are not doing it correctly, this could be a problem as well. And some people do not completely experience this. This is a very delicate question. But the best we can say is that love is love. And if the energy, the meaning, the emotion, the physical connection is there with the other person when you are awake, when you are talking to them, and it ultimately leads to a sexual intercourse, sexual reaction, then it is a good thing. And it is only going to lead to enlightenment. It cannot take away from your energy. It cannot take away from your enlightenment, ever.
No, it is somewhat of a form of nirvana.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We hope that is the end of that type of question.
Can I just say one thing?
Yes.
I think his emotional reaction is one of guilt, perhaps, and that could be part of what is getting in the way of his understanding of the actual experience of
Yes.
enlightenment.
This is why we have said it. It definitely has to do with your emotional state
Right.
at the time. If you are if you are doing something and everything is in tune, it's wonderful. Even if you feel guilt by doing something, it isn't going to take away from his physical energy at
Right.
all. It can't remove energy from him by doing this. It's just like exercising, like we said earlier, and sweating. The sweat that comes out of your pores does not deplete your energy. You may feel tired afterward, but it is not the sweat that has made you feel tired. It is the fact that your muscles need to relax and rest for a little while to recuperate.
Yeah.
That is all that is occurring. And
Yeah.
it is a misunderstanding. It is a misunderstanding that took place years ago because they wanted to keep people from focusing on anything but their spirituality and the day-to-day work that needed to take place in monasteries and the like.
So this is more of a cultural situation.
Yes, it's a very ancient situation.
Mm-hmm.
And it is more of a... It's more of a set of rules that were put in place to keep people as focused, men particularly, as focused on what they needed to do on a day-to-day basis and what they needed to be focused on thinking about when they were in private on a day-to-day basis. This was to keep their thoughts away from other men or other women, and to keep their thoughts even off of their own body, but to keep their thoughts on spirit. And we understand that this was something that could be needed or was needed at the time. These are rules, more or less, that were put in place.
So if a young man or woman grows up in a culture teaching them that this is not satisfying to the body,
they will feel guilt when they do it.
Yeah, and as adults, even if they're married,
they will have problems expressing their feelings
right
in that way. And that may be why they are not truly connecting with another person and experiencing it on a physical, spiritual, and emotional level that can be had.
Because in their heart and in their mind, what they're doing is wrong.
Yes.
I see.
If you believe it, it is.
Right.
If he believes it is taking his energy away, it is. If he believes it is keeping him from reaching enlightenment, it is.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for clarifying.
You are welcome.
Did you have something to add?
Gail?
I was just going to say that if Albert doesn't overanalyze this answer, he will get this one. It's very edifying.
Yes. We hope he will hear this. Really hear this.
Yeah, not only listen, but hear and understand.
Yes.
Another one of his questions is how to help the closed-minded skeptics to feel the spiritual energy flowing through them. I believe he's asking how to share the information to another person about spiritual energy.
Yeah.
I know for a fact he has come across, and we have also,
Yeah.
skeptics.
He is a skeptic. This is what we would say. He needs to understand this himself. He needs to understand how to, as it was said in the question,
How to help closed-minded skeptics to feel the spiritual energy flowing through them.
Feel the spiritual energy flowing through them. He does not allow himself to feel the spiritual energy flowing through him and help others. He has had many things put in place to assist him, and he is not taking advantage of them. And as much as we have said and others have encouraged him, he refuses to allow himself to feel the spiritual energy and to help others. This is why he keeps asking a question like this. How do I explain it to others? You cannot explain it to others unless you have felt it yourself. You must be able to feel spiritual energy and of another person. And then you must be able to explain how their physical energy feels to you, to them. This is the process of giving a spiritual reading, whether it is a psychic reading, any type. It is a process. Him feeling another's spiritual energy and then telling that person, this is what I feel from you. This is how it feels. And when you can tell that person how it feels, how they feel, before they have told you, you have proven to them that it is possible. You have taken them in a huge step toward understanding. People need to be proven. They need to have things proven to them. They want to believe deeply. On a deep level, skeptics want to believe.
So there is a tremendous difference between book smart and actual feeling and discovery and sharing from actual experience.
Yes.
Could I ask a question?
Yes.
What is preventing Albert from allowing this emotion to enter into his equation?
Say this one more time.
What Albert you said that Albert is unable to let go of himself enough to feel what the other person is feeling, to spiritually empathize and experience theirs so that he can understand it himself. What is preventing him from allowing that to happen?
It is blocks that he has put up. Just as the question earlier.
What causes him to put up those blocks? What is it in his makeup that is causing him to, is it fear?
Part of it has to do with his upbringing. Part of it has to do with his experiences that he's had in his life. And part of it is the information that he has read that he believes to be true. And part of it is his past. We have talked about this with him, with his past lives. There's certain beliefs that he has that are deeply ingrained in him. And we are trying.
So he will have to examine each of those things in order to overcome his avoidance.
Yes, because when you think about the question earlier, the understanding that you have feelings, you have a vibration, you have an energy of your own, and the person sitting with you has their own. We believe he understands that, but we do not know that he has felt it.
Right.
We need to have him feel it on a regular basis. He needs to be able to pull his energy back and feel the other person's energy. This has part to do with the question about spirituality and sexuality.
Right.
If his energy is so strong that it eclipses the other person, that is not a spiritual event that will ever take place.
So it's a matter of making yourself vulnerable and open.
Yes. You have to allow other people's energy in. You have to feel and empathize with others in order to understand your intuition better, because it's a portion of yourself that is not in your physical body. There is the spiritual higher self that he is attempting to reach when he is blocking himself off from that. If he would pull his energy back and attempt to reach out and feel others' energies and tell them, physically, verbally tell them what their energy feels like, what he'll be doing is he'll be accessing his higher self to do that work. He will be then opening up his higher self and allowing their energy to enter into his energy so that he can feel everything. This will help him in so many ways in his life.
An example of this would be giving another person a nice, strong, hearty hug and feeling that flow of energy going between the two people.
Yes. And
also,
not a quick hug.
Yes. Also a handshake. I can always tell a lot about a person by their handshake. If it's very cold and weak and quick, that person is not one that you're going to be able to get close to quickly.
This is very true.
But if it's a nice, strong, hearty, eye-to-eye handshake, that's someone that I have probably known in a past life.
And did you hear, as you said that, you added eye to eye?
Mm-hmm.
Because that is part of the connection. If you are afraid to look someone in the face, look them deep in their eyes and feel what they're feeling and allow their emotions to feel what you're feeling and to share that intimacy. That's what it is. It's a form of intimacy to give another a reading. It is to go into their soul with your soul, to touch them on a level, to touch them on a level that is very private. And we think this all harkens back to the other question and his concern about losing his energy to others.
Which is a misconception.
Yes, but this is what is happening when he may have a fear of, as we're seeing it, we believe this is part of it. He has a fear of giving out, giving of himself to others, even in a case of giving a reading, because he will be giving his energy to them. That is how he sees it.
He doesn't see that he would also get back maybe double that energy.
No, he does not see that because he has not done it enough to feel that.
Yeah.
He needs to experience it so he can feel the gratitude that is returned.
Right.
It is the energy that is given back. The emotion that is given back. And at the beginning, when you first start doing this, you may not be receiving a great deal back. You may be getting a, oh, okay, or that's fine. And there are others who need to hear this as well. Sometimes you may not get a deep understanding of what you have told someone, no matter how wonderful the message was. They will not receive it because they are maybe not ready to receive it. But you need to give it and continue to do so. And eventually someone will answer you and give you information that will make you know that you made the connection, that will help you understand, I did it. I really connected with that person. And they were so grateful. And that moment would give him a moment of enlightenment. And he would feel it throughout his being. And we believe that once he has felt this once, he will crave more.
Yeah. I've had that exact experience. That's why I know what he is talking about.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
It is.
It is.